Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF 44 coming at you. So, no script as always, just talking. I feel much better than I did in the previous therapy session. No jitterbugs, no weird kind of shaky energy or nothing like that. Same problems, different mindset. Don't know why. Happy about it though. Woke up this morning pretty good. Did a few exercises, nothing too serious. A little bit of lifting. Showered up to get all that other good stuff, and in between my meal, I'm not quite hungry yet, but will be by the time this video ends. So I'll do content for that meal. That's essentially what this is. So I don't really know as far as myself what I want to talk about. I feel pretty at peace. I'm heavily prayed up right now. Good energy. Been looking at my phone and just kind of looking at the various things that are going on. Same conversation we had yesterday on my mind today with the passing of Jackie O, which is DC Young Fly, the comedian's longtime partner and mother of his 3 babies. She had passed, and it's just, the flooding in of outcry of, people who are sad about, their loss, but also frustrated about how this situation ultimately transpired, or how it's been reported to have transpired, which is her passing away after surgery. So it's one of those situations where, I just wake up this morning with the prayer on my heart for the betterment of his family and everybody who's going through any type of tough time, bereavement specifically, lost somebody or what have you. I just think that, I've gone through enough of this to know that it can get a little tricky trying to cope, afterward. It's like it happens the day of. What you have to deal with is impossible, but it becomes a situation where grief can come in waves, and sometimes you could think that you're healed, or sometimes you could think you're coping, and all of a sudden you start spiraling in a different way, or it hits you even harder or whatever. So I just think that when people lose people, it's not just in first couple weeks that you have to really be intent on checking in on your loved ones who've lost people. It's more so like the extended time after that. And I don't know that, enough time has passed for that to be the case in their life specifically, but it's just something that comes to mind when I think about grief. You got to check on them 3 weeks after the funeral. You got to check on them 3 months after the funeral. Like, that's when it could start hitting. That's when you could start seeing the real signs of what grief does to a person. Because that first week when my mom passed away, I was running on fumes. I was strong. The day after she passed, I felt fine. You know what I'm saying? It's like a weird type of process that you have to go through when you lose somebody that close, or when you have to go through what they're going through. So I can speak to that in my own way and just tell you that grief don't make no sense. The process of healing, the process of going through it, it does not add up. It's not as simple as let's go through it and let's get through it and then we're gone. Nah. It just keeps coming back around in different ways. It just keeps hitting you in different ways. And it takes a whole lot of faith, I think, to pull through it for a lot of us believers. And I don't know how people who don't have faith are able to heal, but that's the hard part. It's just trying to make it through the extended time when everybody's no longer focused on your pain and your loved one being passed. They've healed on from what it is they feeling, and you still got to deal with the day-to-day of them being absent and what comes with that. And so I just want to encourage everybody to look at people who've lost people and think about the extended time after the funeral. That's really where I'm at. Check on them 3 months later. See how they're doing then. That's when you're going to probably see them really trying to cope with it when everybody else then forgot about it. So that's what I know, man. That's what I've dealt with in my own. And so I pray for DC Young Fly and everybody else who's gone through that. So yeah, man, that's the first thing on my mind. Segueing away from that, of course, I do the same old stuff. Playlist. Last night I did a playlist 2 minutes before midnight. Knocked out a R&B playlist, Delete CD 340. Encourage everybody to go check it out. Start plugging that a little more. My Apple Music playlist project is something that I think I'm better at than I am at talking basketball, believe it or not. So it needs the attention necessary for people to see these artists that I'm blending these songs together with, and start to showcase these guys and start showing people where the good music's at, because it's not often found in the stuff that you listen to in the various places you be at. Some of the best music is hidden, and even those who put the music on the platform, so to speak, don't necessarily vet the music as well as one would need to. It's just too much music to really go for. And so I look at like the American Music Awards and the Grammys and all of that. And I just say their job to try to give awards and try to dish out, honors, it's almost impossible now. I don't know if people realize the changing environment in regards to music, but like it's so much music flooding in that it takes about 3 months to go back and find the new stuff. Like, and that's another thing, as somebody who follows Apple Music as much as I do, always on their platform every day. A lot of times the new music that is really good, it takes a couple weeks for people to identify it being good, to get the traction necessary to be a hot song, and then from there for them to start putting it on a playlist that you can find. And so it's like that's another reason why I want people to not only follow BDF 44 and what I do, but I think I'm trying to trailblaze a way for music to be easier for people to find by creating this lane for other people to possibly duplicate. I know a lot of people like, yo, you want people to follow what you're doing, and wouldn't that drown out what you're doing? It's not that I want people to follow what I'm doing. It's just that I think this is the only way people are going to be able to properly digest good music, is if good tastemakers are able to blend that music into playlists that people can just go directly to and listen to everything that they would otherwise search for, that they don't have time to search for. You need entities that vet the music. You know what I mean? You're going to need algorithms that help vet the music. And those algorithms that they use, they ain't no good. They're not as good as a real person who could say, yo, this sounds good, this sound good, this sound good, and put it together in their own taste. And so with everybody having the ability to do that, but not necessarily the time, there has to be some hubs, so to speak, different playlist curators that have your taste that you could go to and say, okay, they like what I like. Let me go to them and let me listen to what they've put together for me so that I can take in all of the music that is otherwise good. And it's like, how do you find that, since music is so subjective to a person's taste? It's like, just because I think I'm good at blending music doesn't necessarily mean I'm picking the sounds you want. So it's like it becomes difficult, but this is my vision of how it goes. You need people all over the globe like me who can come together with their specific taste with the intent to blend music into album mode, so to speak, so that a bunch of collages of songs can come together and blend together so they can be a cohesive body that people can listen to. And then from there, hopefully that culture can start making it so that more people are more passionate about doing this and being those hubs, so that people can digest the music without having it be chaotic or out of some type of sequence that even makes the sounds make sense. And it's hard to do. I mean, when you think about 24 hours in a day, people don't have time to siphon through all of the endless music that's out there. And some of that stuff is so hard to find. Even if they do, they're not going to blend it in a way that gets the most out of the song itself. And so that's where I come in. That's exactly where I come in. I not only make playlists that put together songs that I think are good, but I also put them sounds together so that they get the most out of one another. And so that's the gift. That is exactly what the art is, the art form is that I engage in. I've been working on it for about 6 years, nonstop. I do about probably 12 playlists a month. I've mastered this. I've literally mastered this. And so that's really what it is. I just want people to know where I'm at as it pertains to that particular thing. Because there's a lot of stuff that I do besides this channel that I think can really contribute to the overall brand that I'm trying to build here. It ain't just the visual. I got all kinds of other stuff that I want to do that I'm capable of doing. I'm a multi-threat. You know what I mean? When you talk about people who can do multiple things in different areas, people like Jamie Foxx and Sammy Davis Jr. and all that, I have those type of abilities as it pertains to, I got talent in areas that don't connect with one another. So I can kind of jump into different things, you know what I mean? And kind of put them together. And that's what I do. That's why you see all of these different things on the same channel, because it's all coming from the same brain. You know what I mean? It's like, I think the norm is to try to compartmentalize things for people so that they can go for what it is that they want. If you like the Lakers, you go to this channel for the Lakers. If you like the therapy session, you go to that channel for the therapy session. But that's not how the Lord made me at all. He put all of this scrap in one person. So the way I see it is, we should normalize being comfortable with people being good at multiple things and be comfortable with trying to be better at multiple things that don't fit into one area. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to master what it is that you should master if you focus on one thing. You know what I mean? Because you're going to get a lot better if you focus all of your time on one thing. But if you're one of those multifaceted people that do multiple things, then maybe it's not best for you to focus in on one thing. Maybe it is best for you to diversify into various different things so you can overall improve upon everything you're capable of. So that's what I think I try to do, man. Visual art, I'm getting better. All the little stuff that I do with the markers is getting a lot better as I'm progressing. And then these playlists, like I said, this stuff, at this point, I don't know if I can even get any better at this. I think I'm probably about as good as I'm gonna get, but I love it so much, I just keep going. So, I just want people to understand what is the vision in regards to BDF and the various things that I'm doing. The vision is to put it all together and make it normal, make it normal coming from one spot, and make difficult conversations easier to have. Normalizing the various different facets of one person, and showing it to people in a way that they can receive. So that's what I'm about, man. I got all this stuff and I want people to know that I can do it, and I want people to celebrate the work itself and the artists that I choose to showcase. You know what I mean? And that's really what it's about. When it comes to my own art, yeah, that's my talent. But when it comes to this playlist, it's not only me displaying my ability to blend their music, but also, introducing to you guys these artists. And these people are really, really talented. And I don't know that they're going to be found without me, to be completely honest with you. I don't know that if I don't get to a point where I have some fame, that what it is that I'm doing will actually showcase the artist the way that I think the Lord would like to see more artists be showcased. So, yeah, that's what I want to say, man. This is a real thing. I'm trying to get people to understand that, there are people out here who are passionate for music, who have talent in music, who may be able to find a new lane in music, you know what I mean, without actually going the part of being the artist or going the part of being any of that stuff. You could be a playlist curator and work the lane I'm in, and there's bags out there for you. Just, they've already been paying people Rap Caviar, all these different playlists, but I'm taking it to a different level. That's exactly what I'm here to tell people. I'm taking playlist curation and I've turned it into something that's much greater than what it is y'all know it to be, simply put. So that's exactly what I'm here to say. That's the confidence that I display when I make those playlists. It's the confidence I display when I post them. And it's a lot of good there, man. It's a whole lot of good. So I encourage everybody to go check out almost all 700 of these playlists that I've been working on. They're all there at BDF at Apple Music. And so, yeah, that's it, man. That's, I think, the basis of why I'm not as jittery as maybe I was yesterday, is because I did a whole lot of creating since then. I turned all of that jitter energy into probably over 40 pieces of art and 2 playlists since. So that's what it is. I read something today that said artists need the time and space to sit around and do nothing. And while I've been shunning myself for being that way for a long time, and I've had people chastise me for being that way, the reality is the better I function in doing what comes naturally to me, the more capable I am of accessing what's necessary to create better, wondrous things. And I think most creatives are like that too. It's not that we need to waste time. It's just that we need to draw from the world around us and from our own imagination what is to come from what it is that we manifest. And so if we're constantly busy doing other things that don't come naturally to us, we can't behold the world around us to create and derive from. So I don't know about sitting around doing nothing, but what I can say is a creative can sit for 10 minutes, come up with something amazing, and then go from there and create it. But if they're not able to sit and come up with it because they're too busy doing whatever doesn't fit their algorithm, and chances are that type of art won't come out. So we have to learn how to deal with the mercurial behaviors and natures of creative people and work our world around trying to fit what it is that they can do for us, with the understanding that they can do a lot for us if we allow them to be themselves. Simplifying things, creating opportunities to make life easier. You think about all the different things that inventors and creators have come up with over the years. You would think that we would see the wonders in trying to help children and the next generations cultivate themselves sooner and better and in more helpful environments for what it is they can do. And you consider some random dude came up with the stoplight, you know what I mean? And you see how important a stoplight is right now. That next invention is coming from someone else. And we need to make sure that their environment and their circumstances and their overall support is there so that they can manifest what it is that's ultimately going to save millions of lives for millions of years. You know what I mean? But if they're too busy working at Taco Damn Bell, you know what I'm saying, trying to make it, and it can never turn into what it is they're supposed to be. So that's my encouragement, to fix the world around us as it pertains to allowing creatives, seeing the fruit and allowing creatives to have a different lane. Fund creators, fund creative spaces so that they can get what they need without having to do the day-to-day that the rest of us need to do because we can't create. You feel me? It's like, let's be honest. If everybody had the talent to be creatives, then there wouldn't be no need for a lot of people to do the stuff that they do. We need to be able to function in such a way that empowers creatives to do what they do, because they will make everyone else's lives easier from within the creations that they manifest. So that is what I know, and that is what I will continue to preach until people start letting artistic people freaking be. Let them be. It should be a creative tax for artists so that we don't have starving artists. And if you give them that and you let them create, you're going to find more stuff pops up that's going to be more useful around this globe than anything you've ever seen. But you got to have the faith to fund it. You got to have the faith to care enough to let these people be themselves without the need to keep doing what everybody else is doing, because it's not best for them. It's no different than having basketball players in the wrong positions doing the wrong stuff. You know what I mean? You put them in the world, you tell them to do something that they're not catered to do, and then you are unhappy with the results. You're unhappy with the service. You're unhappy with the customer service, or however it goes. It's because they ain't supposed to be there. They're not supposed to be there. And all these different things that we fund, and we see the fruit in funding, trying to kill off people, funding abortion, we're funding all kinds of different stuff, wars, all different type of stuff that deteriorates us. And we don't see the fruit in funding the people who can manifest the things that make our life easier, that make our life more beautiful, people who can actually contribute. Like, those are the people you need to be trying to help get by so that they can manifest new ways of doing so. That's what I am. I'm one of those people without that funding. So it is what it is, man. And the presence of the entertainment business makes it evil. It ain't just simply, okay, he's talented, now let's go cultivate them into their best selves. Now it's like, let's turn them into a celebrity and mess with their mental health. Apply all types of fame to them and responsibility to be great examples, which are two things that actually don't necessarily go together most of the time. You give a person an overindulgence and they say, be the best example of how to be unselfish. It's like, how does that even work? So it's put in place, to me, as a norm that isn't normal, a culture that isn't vetted properly, evils that are in place that really don't serve to benefit people at all. Stuff that we've been doing the whole time because evil has been in charge the whole time. But this is why I talk about, redirecting our energy to compassion, redirecting our energy to telling evil. If you want to engage in evil, you do have to tell the truth about how much it costs to do so. Not just as it pertains to your money, but as it pertains to what you're going to have to pay for it in the end. The consequences of doing wrong, the consequences of being indifferent, the consequences of letting people go by the wayside and letting monsters manifest from those environments. You can turn those same people into useful and helpful, educated and supportive members of society, but instead want to funnel them into cultures that destroy them and make them even lesser than what would otherwise help the environment itself. That chaos is in place for a reason, and I'm telling you that there's a way around it. And so that's what I'm here to say, man. The energy that I'm trying to convey comes from a belief in the peace that comes from empowering creatives, artists, people who are mercurial, autistic individuals, and people like that. People who can be on a frequency that often is not found in the common agreements amongst us. If we learn to help get the most out of those people, empower those people, and take away the day-to-day stresses of those individuals and allow them to do what it is that they are wired to do, you're going to have a better world for it. My name is BDF 44. I thank you all for watching.